Incognito. I'm not sure why it didn't pop up on the screen, but I appreciate those bits there. Thank you very much. Now, Dave, we had the Jon Moxley promo last night. He calls out anyone, to step up to the plate to challenge Jon Moxley. And we had no one answer the challenge right away. I saw some people tweet out, well, where was the guy? They were assuming someone was going to come out and interrupt Moxley, which no one did. But later on in the night, we had the awesome triple threat match between Shawn Spears, Darby Allin, and the Librarian, which I had no idea was a triple threat at first until the match actually started. But Darby Allin gets the win, and then afterwards accepts the challenge from Jon Moxley. So next week on AEW Dynamite, we get Jon Moxley taking on Darby Allin. It seems like it's going to be a regular match. They haven't added any stipulations on this. And as we all heard before, Tony Khan said that there won't be any type of crazy death matches on AEW Dynamite. So don't expect anything too crazy next week. But what did you think of the Moxley promo and this match coming up next week?
I thought Moxley did good, and I disagree with the King boy here, King Show, or his name is.
Kyle King?
Yeah, him too. About the scripted See, I don't think it's about the scripted promos. I think it's more about people delivering what they're given to make it look good. I think that's what it's about. But I digress. I thought the promo was really good. And
bro,
yeah, and Darby Allin and Moxley, I would have liked them to do
Thank you for the sub.
Go through. I would like them to do more of had someone come out during that promo would have made more sense. Because it just felt kind of, you kept almost waiting for someone to walk out.
Right.
And it just seemed like they just waited. It would have been, I guess, I was waiting for a certain guy named Jimmy to come out, but I don't think he'll be coming out anytime soon for a long time, so... Jimmy Havoc.
Okay, I got you. Well, I was assuming it was going to be Darby, because that's another guy that doesn't really give a shit about his body, who is used to going up against guys that are
Either
crazy.
Is Jimmy Havoc.
Yeah, that too, but I guess maybe with all that stuff that went on during the weekend, he's getting a little bit of a break now. Who knows? But it was a very great promo, I thought, from Moxley. He laid it all out on the microphone, saying that nobody is going to want to face Moxley after what he did to Omega. We didn't get Omega on the show last night. They did show him kind of backstage with a raccoon. That makeup job was horrible. They just made that black guy look too unrealistic.
That's weird to me. That unless there was some kind of concussion protocol, which there should have been both guys. I thought both guys should have been off or last night's show, because it makes no sense to have, say one guy can go out and wrestle and the other one can't. I mean, they both went out there and killed each other last night or Saturday night.
I think it was more probably maybe the concussion protocol, because he did do that Phoenix Splash onto hard wood face first. So maybe that was, and then probably kind of playing up. I mean, Omega wasn't really needed on last night's episode at all. You're not going to just waste him on a show.
Well, you just wasted Moxley.
Well, Moxley actually had a match. Moxley actually wrestled.
Come on. He had a match.
I mean, and it played up to him getting on the mic, calling out the AEW locker room, and then having someone answer his challenge, and we get that match next week. Now, are you excited for this match, Dave? Do you expect to see something crazy in this match, or do you think it's just going to be a regular one-on-one match, no shenanigans whatsoever?
I mean, what would be the point, of just doing a regular match then? No one wants to see that. I mean, but... because people want to see Jon Moxley and Darby Allin just go out there and have a catch-as-catch-can wrestling match? I mean, no. You want to see them do some crazy hardcore shit. But then again, they'll probably just do a regular wrestling match, which Darby Allin's probably going to lose to Jon Moxley.
You would have to assume that Jon Moxley will defeat Darby Allin. I really do think Moxley will be next in line to get a title shot eventually in the future. You would have to assume Darby gets the loss here next week, but I'm expecting a good match between the two. I like that they're not Darby and Havoc and Janela are all affiliated with what? Hardcore, those death matches. And I like that they're not just keeping them to those type of matches only, that they're actually letting them step outside the box.
Yeah, but when we
And
got that match Saturday night, we all thought the match sucked. I thought it was okay, but everyone else thought the match sucked with Spears and Janela.
yeah, but it is Janela and Spears. It's not like he was facing some high class wrestler in that ring. Moxley
Yeah,
and Darby to
I,
me is not just a hardcore guy. I think he can actually have a
I don't
match
know.
without it being a stipulation added to. I know they added the stipulation with him and Jericho, but I don't feel like they need it for Moxley and Darby. I don't want AEW to get to the point to where they're overdoing it on hardcore matches. We had a street fight with Jericho and Darby. We had the non-sanctioned match on Dynamite. I'm sorry, on Full Gear. So you don't want to kind of overdo it on these hardcore matches. I know AEW is trying to be different from WWE, which obviously they are. But I don't want them to kind of overdo it for where you're just kind of like not another death match. Oh, cool. You want to be excited when they announce those hardcore matches that are going to happen. Do you see that point on it, or do you disagree?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, you don't want to see every week have a hardcore match, but to me, that's what's going to separate. I'm not saying every week, but doing the hardcore style wrestling is going to separate them. Kind of be like, in a way, like their X division when TNA had that from separate from WE, or WCW, even better example, with the cruiserweight division separating them from WWE, because they're not doing it. They're not going to do hardcore matches. They're not. I'm not saying TNT is going to let them do it either, but
Yeah,
I'm
see,
just saying that would separate it.
Kyle King makes a good point saying hardcore and stipulation match should be an in and are there blow off. Yeah, that's exactly what Omega and Moxley was. It was a blow
But that
off.
really wasn't a blow off, though. That was like a beginning of their feud because that was like their first match.
It was building up a little bit. Their feud. It didn't probably get into the extent of probably what a lot of people would want, but they were feuding for a couple of months. He attacked them.
Yeah, but they never had a match, though. This is the first match. If it's a blow-off feud, it should be like the third or fourth match in the series, not the first match.
Okay, I feel you.
Because how do you go from there?
Okay.
What are you going to go next match, next pay-per-view? Omega versus Moxley in a singles match.
I don't think we see Omega and Moxley for quite some time.
Okay, but I'm just saying, anytime you have a match again, you can't go higher than that.
Okay, fair enough. They're going to have a regular match that will end in a double count out or something. Then it will go to a hardcore match, says Shroom Goon. That's a possibility. That's
They already did.
No, it's talking about
Oh, it's
Darby
about okay.
Moxley. So